Hello students, welcome to your English class. Today children we are going to do a revision on verbs. When we learned verbs last week, I told you that verbs carry the idea of a being or an action in the sentence. Now, today and then I had also taught you direct and indirect object. Indirect objects. In order to find an indirect object, you must ask two questions. Does the sentence have a direct object? The sentence must have a direct object in order to have an indirect object. So the number one question that we ask is to whom, to what, for whom, or for what was the action done? And the answer to this will give us our indirect object. Direct object. To find out the direct object, we must again ask two questions. Does the sentence have an action verb? First question for indirect object is, does the sentence have a direct object? Now, to have an indirect object, the sentence has to have a direct object. Second question we ask is, to whom, to what, for whom, for what. Okay, now when we talk about direct objects, to find out the direct object, we must first ask, does the sentence have an action verb? The sentence must have an action verb in order to have a direct object. The next question we ask is, who or what receives the action of that verb? And this answer gives us the direct object. So students, to find out the direct object, we ask the question what or who, and to find out the indirect object, we ask the question to, for, or from whom. Then we learned about transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Now, transitive verbs were the action words that have an object to receive that action. A verb which requires an object to complete its sense is called a transitive verb. Like I bake some cookies. I ride the bicycle. I move the chair. Now, I can also say something like I bake. In that case, bake will be an intransitive verb because the action is not transferred onto an object. Intransitive verbs are the action verbs, but they do not have an object at the receiving end. Like I laugh, I cry, the book falls. Okay, now students, I have made a worksheet for you all and we will solve the worksheet together. Please open your grammar notebooks, write on the title, write today's date and write grammar revision worksheet and write the answers down and then we will check them together. Okay students, let's begin this. So students, on the top of your notebooks, you will write today's date and you will write verbs revision worksheet. Grammar verbs revision worksheet. Now, identify the verbs in the sentence given below and classify them as transitive, intransitive, or incomplete. Students, I only want you to write the answer down with one transitive or one intransitive. Okay, but you will also write the verb. So something like made transitive or made intransitive, whatever is your answer. Okay students, now you all have done so many videos with me. You all know the drill. You all will solve, pause, solve, pause, solve. Okay, I'm going to give out the answers at the end. So students, I'm going to read one sentence. Okay, if you are with me, your pace is setting with me, good. If not, use the pause button. So one, the Prime Minister made an appeal. I want you to write the name of the verb and its classification. Okay, start. The Prime Minister made an appeal. The birds are chirping. The sailor looked tired. The infant cried. Sonakshi ate the mangoes. The banker appeared delighted. Okay, students. Now, this you have to rewrite the entire sentence by replacing the underlined verbs with the verbs that have similar meaning. Granny found that the mice had eaten all the cheese. You will use the same sentence, only change this word. So, for example, I'll do one for you. Granny discovered that the mice had eaten all the cheese. Okay, students? Okay. The rugby match started in the afternoon at 3 p.m. Same sentence, change the word started, but another word with same meaning. Don't change the meaning of the sentence. Don't change it to the rugby match terminated or completed. No, I want the same meaning. Next, the cottage was built high on the hill overlooking the valley. Another word for build. To build something is to. The football team dashes out of the locker room. Dashes. I want another word for dashes. Kiran shouted in pain when the ball struck her hand. Another word for shouted. Kanchan bought fresh roses for her mother from the market. Another word for bought. The children tramped through the woods on their way home. Tramped. You don't know the meaning, you can use the dictionary. The little bird was chirping in its cage. Spelling mistake there, it should be chirping. Joseph cracks the mystery of the stolen jewels. The village children gathered the apples from under the tree. Okay, students, so this was, now we come to the last part of this worksheet. Over here, in each sentence, a verb is missing. You have to write the verb to complete the sentence. The children dash a kettle on the camping trip with them so they could boil water. Just write the answer. 18. The tornado dashed a vast area of land. 19. When the smoke alarm sounded, we dashed through the emergency exit. We dash a pickle with our sandwich. The morning dash, the promise of a new day. The Three Musketeers dash, a very adventurous trio. 23. Rachna dash Denmark on the globe. We dash the game as a result of our great teamwork. Johnny dashed the horses at the ranch every morning. It is nice to dash a picnic under a grove of trees. This was the last one, students, 26 in all. Out of that, only the second exercise required complete sentences. Okay, let's see the answers now. Students, now you will sit with a red color pencil. Okay, and you will just put a tick mark if it's correct and a cross if it's wrong. I want you to self assess and also mark, give yourself a mark, one for every question. First one, the Prime Minister made an appeal. If you have identified made correctly, half a mark for that, and half a mark for classifying it into transitive. If both are correct, give yourself 1 mark. The birds are chirping. Are chirping is the answer. Students, you have to underline are also. So if you have not underlined are chirping, cut half a mark over there. If you have correctly identified intransitive, give yourself half a mark for that. The sailor looked tired. This can be incomplete, can be intransitive also. Tired, half mark, intransitive, half mark. The infant cried. Over here, cried will get is intransitive, half for cried, half for intransitive. Sonakshi ate the mangoes, half mark for ate, half mark for transitive. The banker appeared delighted. Delighted is actually incomplete sentence, but we are going to put this is intransitive. And you can also have selected appeared. Rewrite these sentences by replacing the underlined verbs with the verbs which have a similar meaning. So, Granny discovered that the mice had eaten all the cheese. The rugby match began or commenced in the afternoon at 3 p.m. The cottage was constructed on a high hill overlooking the valley. The football team rushes out or ran out of the locker room. Both are correct. Kiran shouted. We have to change that to Kiran yelled, or Kiran screamed, or Kiran wailed in pain when the ball struck her hand. Kanchan purchased fresh roses for her mother from the market. The children walked or hiked through the woods on their way home. The little bird was twittering in its cage. New word you've learned today, twittering. Joseph solves the mystery of the stolen jewels. The village children collected the apples from under the tree. Now, in each of these sentences, a verb was missing. Let's look at them. The children bought a cattle on the camping trip is also correct. The children took a kettle on the camping trip, or the children carried. They're all correct. Next, the tornado destroyed a vast area of land. The tornado devastated a vast area of land. When the smoke alarm sounded, we left through the emergency exit, we ran through the emergency exit, or we dashed through the emergency exit. All three are correct. We ate a pickle with our sandwiches, with our sandwich. The morning brought the promise of a new day, or the morning brings the promise of a new day. The three musketeers were a very adventurous trio. Rachna found Denmark on the globe. Rachna marked Denmark on the globe. Rachna located Denmark on the globe. We dashed the game as a result of our great teamwork. We won the game. Johnny feeds the horses at the ranch every morning. Johnny washes the horses at the ranch every morning. Both are correct. It is nice to have a picnic under a grove tree. Okay. So students, I want you all to mark yourself over here, and if you've got less than 10, that means you must go through my verb video again and practice verbs. Okay. If you have got about 20, then fantastic. If it's between 10 and 20, that means you need to practice more. All right, students, with this we end today's class. Over the weekend, please complete all your notebooks. Monday, I will again ask for showing me your notebook work. Till then, stay home, stay safe, take care, keep learning. Thank you.